Live from the studios overlooking the beautiful city of Rochester, New York, hosting Steeler Nation Live, your hosts, Big Tiz and Big O.
Welcome, guys. 2014 Thursday night, September 4th, Steeler Nation Live, back on the air.
Special edition. As we all know, folks, last year we always did our show on Wednesday nights, but this show, because of the holiday, we're doing it tonight, Thursday night, live here in Rochester, New York. Welcome back, fans, to Steeler Nation Live. I'm Big O.
I'm Big Tiz. And fans, as you can see, we've done a lot like we always do in the off season. Brand new studio. We debuted it, actually, on our draft special. That's when we actually debuted the new set. So this is a new set. Check it out. We got a lot of things going on. We got a lot of additions that we're going to talk about later in the show. But let's get to things with the meat and potatoes of this show right now, and that's our beloved Chuck Noll.
Chuck Noll passing away. Unfortunately, things happen.
Right.
But we, out of respect for the Knolls, the Pittsburgh Steelers family and organization, we would give our heartfelt, deepest sympathy to all involved for the passing of Chuck Noll.
Yeah, it was a sad thing to see. Chuck Noll's been a very good teacher to a lot of people coming in the game and taught a lot of guys there, brought Lombardi trophies to Pittsburgh. This guy's been inspirational in a lot of careers. One that comes to mind is Tony Dungy. You know,
Absolutely.
Tony Dungy got his first start, first African-American to start right there under the tutelage of this guy. You know, this guy was a phenomenal person as well as a coach.
And the creator of the Steel Curtain, the signing, the first-round draft choice, Mean Joe Green, and L.C. Greenwood, and so on and so on. And the talent that this man had to put together a Super Bowl caliber team when we all know that Pittsburgh wasn't that type of team back in the 60s, 40s, 30s, or whatnot. It didn't come together until the 70s where Chuck Noll put it all together.
Exactly right. I believe it was 1969 when they first started getting that draft together, getting players like Terry Bradshaw, Mean Joe Green in the mix, and these guys solidified that Steeler mystique as we know it as the Steel Curtain, and they brought that into something that is still that your kids heard of or that people still talk about today, the Steel Curtain, the mystique of it. I'm telling you, it is amazing, and this guy was at the forefront of it. So, you know, we want to pay homage to this guy.
Absolutely. And what the Steelers are going to do this year, they're going to wear a sticker on the back of their helmets for Chuck Noll. It'll be the CHN, his initials, right in the back of the helmet in respect for Chuck Noll and his family.
So, to the Noll family here on Steeler Nation Live, Big Tiz, Big O, we give you a much greater salute, what you deserve here. And thanks again from all of us here at Steeler Nation Live.
That's true. And the thanks does not stop there. Also, we had a huge, not us, but the Bengals actually had a huge retirement. James Harrison.
Right.
Released by the Bengals, had a visit with the Cardinals, wanted to, you know, keep that career going, but something inside just said it's time. It's, you know, time to give it up.
Yeah.
And with respect, what a great player.
Yeah, it was sad to see him retire. This guy has been a phenomenal talent in the league. You know, at one point, I believe a 4-year span, this guy was the #1 defensive player in the league.
Absolutely.
You know, this guy, 66 sacks, I believe, and this guy's at MVP titles. This guy's got 2 Super Bowl rings. This guy is a phenomenal talent, and it was sad to see him retire.
Yeah, 5-time Pro Bowler. We were hoping that he would come back to Pittsburgh as maybe possibly a mentor. But you know James Harrison, he doesn't want to sit back and watch. He wants to play. And I guess, you know, not to say anything bad about him, because that's the tenacity that this guy has. He wants to play.
Right.
And so he realized he wasn't, you know, he's pushing 40, Big Tiz, and folks at home, if you're keeping score. You just don't have it with these younger players coming up, the speed, it just wasn't there. He realized it, and we got to show him respect for that. James Harrison released a statement earlier today. I've made the difficult decision to retire as of today. My love for my family and the need to be there for them outweighs my desire to play the game. I have missed too many experiences with them because I devoted so much time to my career. My love for the game isn't strong enough to make up for missing one more birthday or first day of school. I am retiring as a man who is truly grateful for all his blessings. I am sincerely thankful to the people who have supported me over the years. First and foremost, my family, the Rooney family, and my Steeler family. Also, Mr. Brown, the Bengals organization and fans, and last but far from least, Steeler Nation Live. Thank you.
That was a good edit.
You like that, huh? I put in it live, but actually he was thanking Steeler Nation. We all know who you are. We're all part of it. And you know what? We just want to thank James for all he has done for the Pittsburgh organization, especially that interception, 102 yards return for the Super Bowl against the Cardinals that solidified yet another Lombardi trophy for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Exactly. But you know what? There are a lot of other things going on in the offseason here at Steeler Nation Live, as well as with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And one of them, we had the draft that just passed. So let's go down and talk a little bit real quickly about the draft that just happened.
All right. Well, shock to us, as you all know, that if you watched our pre-draft show, that a lot of the players that were selected by the Steelers were not on our radar. Hey, it goes to show there's thousands of players out there. What the Steelers organization felt their needs were and what Big Tiz and I felt our needs were. But we grabbed Ryan Shazier, Ohio State linebacker,
right.
And I was shocked. Everybody was shocked. But you know what? It was a great draft. Big Tiz.
Yes. I mean, when you see the numbers off of this guy and the guy's football knowledge is phenomenal. So, like I said, right now he's a young guy. And he's going to learn as he goes along. And the big deal with him is a lot of him having problems shedding blocks, this and that. Primarily, a lot of it's because of his size, but he'll get better as he goes along. So I can see great things with this guy.
Right. Number 2 draft pick, Stephen Tuitt, another defensive end from Notre Dame. Big size, agile. I don't think he'll be a starter this year, but he will play a lot this year.
Yeah. He'll be a good talent for the Steelers. And the other one, Dre Archer, 3rd round. This guy came out of nowhere. I mean,
Kent State.
Nobody expected this guy. Nobody picked this guy. I don't care who you were or who you think you were. You didn't pick him. This guy came out of nowhere. The speed. This guy's a lightning bolt in a bottle. You know what I mean? This guy is phenomenal.
This guy runs circles around Chris Rainey. We all remember Chris Rainey. The same outlook that the Steelers had for Chris Rainey, Dre Archer, it just blows him away.
Exactly.
To watch this kid play, this is the kid that we need on 3rd downs. Unfortunately, he's only 5'7", $125 soaking wet. But you know what? If he gets in the way, you know he's not going to be blocking for Ben, because obviously for his size. But if Ben gets the ball to him on, say, a blitz or bad pass blocking, he gets the ball, this guy's going to run minimum 20 yards a carry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The speed, his agility, you can't tackle what you can't see. The guy's so low to the ground, and I'm great pick.
Oh yes, it was a great pick all the way
for
around.
The Steelers.
And next up we had Martavius Bryant, nice tall receiver what the Steelers are looking for out of Clemson. You know, the hands, there are a little question mark on his hands, but he's getting better as the season prolongs. A lot of receivers, even receivers that are good now, they kind of started off kind of iffy with their hands, but this guy is getting better as the season goes on.
Right. We just have to worry about the injury bug. He separated his shoulder early in preseason. He's getting around to coming back. Don't see him as a starter. This worried me because there's a lot of receivers out there probably better than Bryant, and I'll tell you why. Bryant played along with Sammy Watkins, who was picked number 1 by the Buffalo Bills. Now, if you look at the tapes, Martavius Bryant, you'll see that this guy was a wide open receiver.
Right.
This is the guy that defenses forgot about because they're covering Sammy Watkins. I can't remember watching one highlight film of him doing a pass route and catching the ball other than jumping up and down, hey, I'm wide open, throw me the ball.
Right.
So that's kind of scary right there. And plus, the injury bug already hit him. But we got this Lance Moore, Hayward Bay. We got Marcus Wheaton is back, number 2. He's healthy, and of course, number 1, Antonio Brown. So we could have done better with that pick, but I mean, we'll see how that goes.
Exactly. Well, they got what they needed, a tall receiver. So that was the main thing, and somebody who can eventually they can mold with the hands. But next up we had a Shaquille Richardson, 5th round out of Arizona. This guy, what's your feelings on him?
Well, he showed a lot of, good presence, defending, covering receivers, but I'm not really sold on him just yet.
Right.
I mean, we still have Ike Taylor, we have Allen back there, It's just I don't see him in any kind of starting role. Only if somebody goes down, like
Right.
Ike Taylor or Allen goes down. I don't see him playing much this year. And that's a good thing because that means our defenders are healthy. So, kind of, I mean, he doesn't really have the size. He has the cover speed, but he's still young. He still needs to be, involved more in defensive schemes. I don't see him playing at all this year.
And I'll let you end off with our other fifth rounder.
Wesley Johnson, I mean, what can you say? Guy's got speed, strength, agility. I don't see him playing this season.
Right.
I think maybe practice squad. I maybe seeing him get cut. I'm not sure, but this guy will be a Steeler in the future.
Right.
From Vanderbilt. So, and we'll later on the show, if you stay with us, we're going to go over pretty much what we feel would be the starting lineup against the Sunday against the Browns, who got cut, surprising cuts, not many, and who got signed to the practice squad. But before we do that, we're going to go over the preseason. Big Tiz.
I don't know if a lot of you guys remember preseason from last year. We were 0-4, and we carried that into the 2013 season, and we were 0-4 at that point before we started winning again. But the thing about it is, right now, we ended this preseason, I believe we were 1-3.
1-3, yes.
Right,
We did beat the Buffalo Bills at home. I was at that game. Beautiful night for football, especially weather-wise, and when you come off a victory, it also sweetens the deal.
But let's look at the tail of the tape, though. Big O, let's run down some of the stats. And this is from all 4 preseason games, so it's kind of scary. But you look at it, I know a lot of people are saying, well, you know what? This is preseason. They want us to take a look at a lot of other guys. But, yeah, it's preseason. But this is production that the first string didn't put out that much either. So let's look at it from both sides.
And not to make excuses or not to talk about the poor stats. Let's realize what we got here. Number one, we have one of the most elite, great offensive line coaches, Mike Munchak, ex-head coach at the Tennessee Titans. Great, he's future Hall of Famer.
Right.
We have a healthy offensive line.
Right.
Okay, we have all our starters back. We have a healthy Ben Roethlisberger. We have healthy running backs. Our defense, young and fast, something that Pittsburgh is not used to. Because even from the days of Chuck Noll, we never really had the speedy defenders. We had the mature, older, players who knew what to do without speed, technique. With that being said, we don't want to make excuses of why these stats are so poor. We have to remember I don't like to say rebuilding, Tiz.
Well, we're a team that's getting younger, and just like anything else, in new job phases, there are drop-offs from people switching positions, and this is like through attrition. And the same thing that we're going through here with the Steelers is that they're bringing in the young and kind of phasing out a lot of the older players, and that's what we're going through. And we're still trying to keep pace with the rest of the league, so you got to keep that in mind. I know a lot of you guys say, well, you know what, if we go another 8-8 season, we failed, or Tomlin this or that or whatever.
Right.
But you got to look at the whole entire package, and that's exactly why we did bring up things like this.
The whole enchilada. So getting back to it, Pittsburgh total first downs to the first 4 games of preseason. Pittsburgh 51, only 51 first downs. The opponents 91 first downs against us. Third down conversions, we weren't even 50%. 17 for 53. Opponents were 22 for 54.
Right.
Fourth down conversions 0 for 2. It is what it is, folks.
Exactly.
It's preseason. Total offensive yards, Big Tiz, if my math is correct, we didn't even break 1,000 yards total offense. That's combined running and passing, where opponents on our defense almost 1,500 yards total offense. Ground game, horrendous. 4 games, 269 yards on the ground, only 805 in the air. And Pittsburgh did a lot of passing.
Yeah, we did.
Granted that Roethlisberger only played maybe a third of all those passes, and Roethlisberger had a phenomenal preseason. The passing stats for all 3 quarterbacks combined, we're talking Roethlisberger, Landry Jones, and Gronkowski. We're talking 79 for 127. Great positive thing, only 3 interceptions.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Over a 4-game span, that's not bad.
That's not bad, and usually it's not too good for us. Opponents were 89 for 140, and also we only had 3 interceptions for our defense. Sacks, not really that impressive. Only 6 out of 4 games. Opponents having 12 against us. Field goals, Swisham only missed 2, so he's 5 for 7. Opponents 7 for 10.
Yeah.
Touchdowns, only 6 touchdowns. Opponents only had 8. And here's what's kind of scary. Time of possession, Big Tiz, 27 minutes and a half as compared to almost 33 minutes for the opposing teams. So that means our defense is on the field too long, offense isn't. So
yeah, and that tells me it's a lot of 3 and outs as well. Well, guys, you know what I mean? When you look at these stats and you hear these stats and you think in your mind, here we go, a cosmic of 2013 season. But there were a lot of things that we had to look at this season, especially receivers had to be looked at very heavily. We brought in a lot of receivers. And, we knew who was going to be our running backs at one point. But as you see what transpired, we'll talk about a little bit later in the show, we had to get looks at everybody in every facet of the game. So that's what happened there.
All right, Big Tiz, I guess it's time to pay the bills. When we come back from commercial, we're going to go over this year's schedule, who we're playing, and who we think, how many wins we're going to get, and maybe how many losses we're going to get. And also, we have something new exciting, once again, for Steeler Nation Live.
Next up.
Uniform Express, located on 1408 Buffalo Road, Rochester, New York, for your police, fire, or EMS supplies. One of Rochester's top and finest suppliers of shirts, pants, shoes, boots, and accessories for your professional uniform needs. Uniform Express also does embroidery and screen print for team uniforms, jerseys, and corporations. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can also go to their website at www.uniformexpress.com or call Brian at 585-529-4245. That's 585-529-4245. And let Brian know you heard his ad on our show, Steeler Nation Live.
Welcome back, everyone, to Steeler Nation Live. I'm Big O.
I'm Big Tiz.
And this is the part of the show where we're going to go over this season schedule, 2014-2015. And Big Tiz, it's looking kind of iffy.
I know. We're coming right out of the block. We're playing the Cleveland Browns, division foe. But we got a lot of things that's going on with that. So, Big O, what do you think?
Yeah, we pretty much take care of our division by November. And the only teams that we're not playing the Bengals until December.
Right.
And we take care of the Browns and the Ravens by November 2nd. And then in December, we play the Bengals twice.
Right, exactly.
So in the meantime, in between time, we'll be playing teams that we can beat, but considering the past history, they're not easy victories. Like we'll start off with the Browns. And then September 11th, the day that no one will ever forget, obviously, we play the Ravens in Baltimore. Now that's going to be that's always a tough game. I don't care if the Steelers are killing everybody. You get to the Ravens and it's going to be like a 9-6 game. So it's going to be tight. And then after that, we go on the road again and we play the Panthers down in Carolina,
which is always a tough game for the Steelers. So the Steelers got to be amped up and keep that fuel going for that game against the Panthers.
The only thing that can kill us about that game is trying to contain Cam Newton. And with the young, speedy defense that we have, what I've seen in the preseason, they're too fast. Okay, they overcommit, and that's going to kill us. And I hope that's not the choice. I hope they somehow Dick LeBeau puts the harness on these wild horses and tames them, because they're running loose. And you know what? They're fast, they're young, they're going to make mistakes, and hopefully not against Cam Newton.
Exactly.
And Greg Olsen, got to contain that guy too. Then we come back home and we face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers September 28th.
Yep, should be a good game. I think the Bucs have a lot to offer. They have young quarterbacks, and they're kind of in a transition period still, but they have Lovie Smith. So this guy can get his young team amped up to win any game at any moment. So the Steelers have to be ready.
We got a great rushing attack, and depending on who's quarterback, I think Josh McGowan who's going to be the backup right now, who's not slated as a starter, I bet you by this game he will be the starter. And then we play. Then we go back south again to Jacksonville, the Jaguars down in Florida. I mean, it's just like can't they play like, you know? All right, well, you play Tampa Bay, then you play Jacksonville together. I mean, or they come up to Pittsburgh. It just makes a lot of traveling, a lot of nonsense. But that's going to be a tough game too.
Right.
Who's the running back?
Well, right now they're kind of like in a transition too at running back.
Right.
And to be honest, I don't believe I remember who the running back is for them. I know they got rid of Maurice Jones-Drew.
He's in Oakland right now, doing
exactly.
a hell of a job there in Oakland. He's doing a great job there. So it's just, and Bortles, he's not slated to be the quarterback starter, but their first-round draft choice. But I see this kid, by the time we get down there this time of the season, I expect him to be playing, starting.
Exactly.
And then after that, we go back to Cleveland. From Jacksonville, beautiful. Cleveland, not so beautiful. And hopefully by that time, we'll know how the Browns are going to be playing. Who's going to be quarterback?
Right.
Is it going to be Johnny Football? Is it going to be Hoyer Football?
Well, I think at that point, October 12th, when that game is, I believe that Johnny Football will be in there quarterbacking, because a little bit I have to deal with Hoyer's play. And I think Hoyer is actually a okay quarterback, but it's the fact that the fan pressure and any mistakes he makes is going to be magnified 100%. So Johnny Football will be in there before you know it.
That's right. Then after that, we're at home against the Texans. Texans come to town. Yeehaw. Watt, or what's his face? Watt?
Yep.
Just signed another
Watts.
gazillion-dollar contract with this guy. I don't know. I don't understand it. You know what I mean? And then after the Texans come to town, Andrew Luck and the Colts, they come to town October 26th. That's going to be a 4 p.m. game on CBS. And then after that, the Ravens come to town, the Baltimore Ravens. And then we go to New York and then Tennessee. And then we got our bye in Week 12, Big Tiz. This is huge. You really don't want your bye in the first 5 weeks, because by this time you have injuries.
Right.
You're limping into the second half of the season. Hopefully not us, but this is a good time to have a bye in Week 12.
Exactly. And then we actually, after the bye, we have November 30th. We have the New Orleans Saints coming in. Drew Brees coming to town. And that should be a huge game. Last time I remember him coming to Pittsburgh, he put up some numbers. We won the game, but he put up numbers. And, that was with a different defense, an older defense, but we still won the game. And with these guys, if we rein them in early on defense, like he said, the speed is there. We just got to get the football, knowledge there. So, and they're getting there.
We don't want to overcommit. And then we go to Cincy to play the Bengals. That's going to be a tough game. We don't know. The Bengals look tough in preseason. But we know how that goes, folks. You could look great in preseason, and then you could crap the bed the rest of the season, or you could be crappy in preseason and do great in the regular season.
Exactly.
So, and plus with AJ Green looking to be star-studded again this year, and Dalton very healthy, looking to give him the ball.
Right.
Gresham, the tight end. It's just young defense. We got to make sure these guys are playing Steeler football.
Then on December 14th, we go to Atlanta Falcons. Matty Ice, it's a lot of things we got to control in that game. And hopefully we're in a good position right there to possibly, this game can be, we can afford to lose one or not. Because this could be a tricky game here. Believe it or not, because Matty Ice, he is tough at Atlanta.
Oh, absolutely. And also, Steven Jackson. Last year was supposed to be his breakout year when the Rams released him. Atlanta picked him up. He was supposed to be the number one running back. Maybe number 2 behind Adrian Peterson last year. Gets hurt early in the season. Pretty much done for the season. So now they're saying, even though with his age, this kid's going to have a great season. Hopefully not at the hands of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
By this time, this is kind of, double-edged sword for me, because he's one of my fantasy running backs. I want to see this guy do good. But you know what? I'll give up the points in this game against the Steelers.
Exactly. And we also have the December 21st, the Kansas City Chiefs And that's another huge game. The Steelers have the end of the season, they have 2 home games. So that is huge for the Steelers, but they have to win the games that they must win. And at home, you got to win those games. Big games like this with the Chiefs coming in.
Absolutely. And we finish out the season at home against the Bengals. Big O will be there. I'm telling you, it's going to be a great game. Playoff potential right there. And Big Tiz, it's going to be cold.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But let's go back. Let's go back to the first game we're playing this Sunday, September 7th. Cleveland coming to town. Word on the street that Manziel and Hoyer will be doing shift changes, be mixing things up, throwing things at the young Steeler defense, trying to confuse them. And if you look at the preseason stats, if you compare Hoyer with Manziel, Hoyer no touchdowns, Manziel couple touchdowns.
Right.
I believe Manziel's got 78 yards rushing because that's what he is good for, the scrambling techniques that he came with from Texas A&M. That because he's not a big guy. He's not like a Roethlisberger, strong, can't get him down. But if he gets by you, he's going to get yards. Yeah. And this is what can and will kill the Steelers. We seen it last year against Hoyer. With the defense overcommitting and doing the naked bootlegs and running up the middle. That's what we mean by overcommitting and not following the play guy with the ball. But some things happened that we didn't discuss about earlier. We had a couple Steeler players get in trouble with the law. And we don't know if this is going to affect Game 1 against the Browns. But with more on the story with Le'Veon Bell and LeGarrette Blount and the regular season opener against the Browns, we're going to the studio with Joe Laurie.
Hey, Joey, what's going on? Big Tiz here in Steeler Nation Live. How you doing, brother?
Thanks for having me on the show, and I'm very blessed for the opportunity to be here. Now let's go back to some news that Steelers fans did not want to hear to start the season off, and that's running backs Le'Veon Bell and LeGarrette Blount, who were both charged with possession of marijuana, along with Bell, who's being charged with the DUI. Head coach Mike Tomlin said that the situation will be handled in-house. However, according to the new CBA, teams cannot take suspensions in their own hands. This is a league matter, and the league has to deal with situations like this. The NFL has furthered their stance, saying that they will not suspend Bell or Blount until both of their trials are concluded. According to an officer who was on scene when both these guys got arrested, Le'Veon Bell was quoted as saying that he's the starting running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers and needs to be on a plane to Philadelphia in 3 hours. Bell also then stated he didn't know he could be high because he smoked 2 hours ago. No one is accusing Le'Veon Bell of splitting atoms on the weekend. Most of you may remember LeGarrette Blount from his days at Oregon, where after a game against Boise State, he was in an altercation with another player and punched him in the face. He was later suspended for the whole season. If for some reason these guys are suspended, look for running back Dre Archer to take the majority of the carries for the Steelers this season. Archer, a rookie out of Kent State, last year rushed for over 2,000 yards and should have no issue in taking the majority of the carries. In today's NFL, the running back position is not as prestigious as it once was, so look for guys to be easily plugged into the starting spot and do an okay job. However, Bell or Blount haven't missed a lot of time, so don't be too worried about the team being affected or their play being affected. For the time being, looks like the guys will suit up week 1 against the Browns and look to go back to that ground and pound run game that everybody loves from the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Thanks, and back to you guys.
Hey, thanks, Joey. Phenomenal piece. Like I said, this guy is a great new addition to the Steeler Nation Live crew. He's a young guy, a good reporter. This guy's going to put it out for you fans out there.
That's
Big
right.
O, this guy, what do you think?
He's the man. So that's all I can say. Thanks, Joe. We'll hear more from Joe on future shows and future happenings around Steeler organization, and Joe will be there with it. Right now, we'll go to commercial, Big Tiz. But when we come back, Big O's, big weather, future forecast for next Sunday, September 7th, game against the Cleveland Browns. We'll be back after this.
Heckle & Jekyll Sports Cards, Collectibles, and Video Games. Open 7 days a week here in Rochester, New York. Mike has all kinds of individual cards and packs. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, just to name a few. Mike also has the widest variety of video games too, from Sega Genesis to Wii to PlayStation to Nintendo, Game Boy Color Advance, and so on. Mike has all the old school games you can't rent or buy anymore. Mike also has a great selection of autographed memorabilia, sports jerseys, hats, 8x10s signed by your professional athletes for you to buy. He also has video game, Yu-Gi-Oh! And poker tournaments, Beanie Babies, Bratz dolls, sports figures, and more. Mike runs a show 7 days a week. Call Mike, 585-889-9130. That's 585-889-9130. Folks, if you're not in Rochester and you're looking for that hard-to-buy memorabilia, call Mike or look him up on the web at heckjack@rochester.rr.com. Once again, folks, that's heckjack@rochester.rr.com. But if you are in Rochester, you can go down to Chile Avenue, that's 3240 in the Chile Paul Village. So come down, tell Mike you saw us on the show, and he'll cut you a discount. Just kidding, Mike. Mike has all the discounts anyways. So remember, Heckle & Jekyll Sports Cards, Collectibles, and Video Games open 7 days a week. Hello, Steeler Nation and Steeler Nation fans. Big O here from Steeler Nation Live with your first future weather forecast for this upcoming Sunday game, September 7th, at home, Heinz Field, against the Cleveland Browns. Folks, it might not be a total washout, but they're calling for scattered showers, high 75, low 54. Since it's going to be a 1 o'clock game, I'm thinking the temperatures are going to be around 65, 70 degrees. Dress warm, dress appropriately, bring your umbrella, bring your poncho, whatever you're going to do. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be a complete washout, but expect some rain. And I mean rain, tears from the Cleveland Browns, because Pittsburgh is going to win this Sunday. I'm Big O from Steeler Nation Live with your future forecast.
Hey guys, welcome back. Steeler Nation Live. Big Tiz.
Big O in the studio.
Hey, Big O was doing his thing on the weather. My boy, like I said, he's not as pretty as the ones we want there, but he's doing it.
All right. All right, next week, Speedo for you, Big Tiz.
I might miss that show, guys. But anyway.
All right.
The Steelers also had a lot of things that are happening in the offseason, and they had a lot of Steeler cuts.
Oh, surprising cuts. My daughter's heartbroken. Chris Carter cut. Now, we know he's had some injury issues, and we know he didn't play the whole season last year. But, you know, I really liked him. Not because he gave my daughter so much attention at training camp. Every year we go down, he'd pick her up, put her on her shoulder, and take a picture, a hug and everything. And she loved the sweat. Disgusting, whatever. But, you know, he was a real good, an all-around great person. Not only was he a great football player, but he took care of his fans.
Right.
And well appreciated. We hope you come back, Chris. If you see this, I hope you do. We love you. Nothing personal. You're a great player. Just didn't happen right now, but you're not out of the picture. We just want to say, good luck if a team picks you up. That's great, because I know the caliber person this guy is. Not only a player, but a great person, down to earth.
Exactly. Offensive guard, Guy Wimper.
No surprise there. He was a late season pickup last year to fill the holes, to fill the voids. But you know what? It makes a lot of sense. We're healthy now, and we're very deep with the draft and all that. Younger players, we're doing a good thing. We wish them nothing but the best. Guy Wimper.
Yep. And we also had David Paulson, who was a casualty of the cuts. And David Paulson, at first I thought when he first came out last year, I said, okay, you know what, this guy might be good quality tight end, but the guy had no blocking skills. And not just that, I rarely even heard his name on the field after that.
You know what, I disagree with you, Tiz.
Mm-hmm.
First time, Steeler Nation Live. I disagree with Big Tiz. I think that Paulson had the potential.
Right.
When you don't play a lot, or you don't get the ball thrown your way, you're not going to be the Heath Miller type caliber. And I think that's what hurt him as well, is being in Heath Miller's shadow. And now that Heath Miller is back and 100% and ready to play, I think because of this, he was released.
I don't know. I'm going to disagree with them on that one. Only the instance of the fact that if you're in the shadow of someone and you know that they're a phenomenal talent, and you're only given but so many chances to get in, so you got to make the best of your chances. Now, when you come up, even in the first game, I believe when he touched the ball, he had a nice little catch and ran down the sideline. I forget who it was they played, but he got hit and he fumbled. Which, that happens.
That happens.
But the fact is that, after that, I rarely seen Paulson on the field, except for like in certain formations or things like
Right.
that. But other than that,
All right. And you made your point. I agree. He didn't have the hands of Heath Miller. He wasn't that great of a blocking. Gotcha. Also, Derek Moye. Not my sleeper pick, not my favorite pick, but the guy had good hands. He had height from Penn State. Loved the college, Penn State. And just, I don't know. I mean, with the acquisition of Lance Moore,
right.
Hayward Bay, Wheaton, Martavis Bryant, Antonio Brown. We kept 6 receivers on the roster, and you know what? It just, I guess, wasn't his time. And also, 2 surprising cuts were 2 of our draft choices: Shaquille Richardson and tight end Rob Blanchflower. Well, if Paulson's going to go, Blanchflower's going to go, and Blanchflower was a 7th round pick. Shocker that we even grabbed him.
Right.
I mean, he had good potential, but not. I mean, somebody we could have picked up after the draft. We could have used that draft pick for somebody else. So, but we also had some practice squad signings, Big Tiz.
Exactly. One of them was offensive tackle and guard Alejandro Villanueva. How about that?
Villanueva.
Okay.
Alejandro Villanueva. Now, story behind this kid, he left to go to Afghanistan. He was gone for a while. Mm-hmm. And he left football. I mean, he was a hero. Awards, everything.
Right.
I don't know what actually he did. Don't want to dwell too much on it, but it was great that the Steelers were able to pick him up and sign him to the practice squad. We also re-signed Shaquille Richardson. We just said got cut from one of the draft choices, and Rob Blanchflower.
Exactly. And also for the fact that Derek Moye, he was re-signed on the practice squad as well. And we actually, if you go down the list, there were a lot of guys there who I thought might have made it as a start on the team. And one of them was Josh Morrow. This guy was a defensive lineman.
Oh, yeah.
Speed, long arms like J.C. Watts. That
Size.
type of, yeah.
Big guy.
And that's the guy I thought that would be impressionable. So more or less, maybe as the season goes along, he might get a chance to step in there. But this guy, I'd hate to see him leave.
Yeah,
while he's in camp, take full advantage of this guy.
Oh, absolutely. He had the Brett Kiesel body, the
Yep.
frame, the tenacity, the same. You would think these guys were from the same mold, except for the
Exactly.
beard. But it's great to see him back in the practice squad. Running back Josh Harris, and my sleeper pick for the defense. And I love this guy. I watched him through preseason. Howard Jones, linebacker. He wore number 34. Now, if you see preseason game, this guy, special teams, this guy, wherever the ball was, this is where this guy is. I do believe he had a pick 6 or a fumble 6 or something, picked it up and scored. This guy, listen to me now, remember me next Tuesday, folks at home, this guy will be on the 53-man roster, not due to injuries, the replacement, but this guy, number 34, Howard Jones, is going to be a game breaker. Right there, folks, you heard it live.
Hey, like I said, there were a lot of things that happened in the offseason on Steeler Nation, and it's all out there. But now is the start of this is the real meat and potatoes where the season starts, and it's starting Sunday, and you guys got to be amped up for it. Big O, we've slashed out our team who we think going to be starting this year from this 2014 game opener against the Cleveland Browns.
Now, this is not a dream team, folks. Every player that we selected for starters are healthy.
Right.
Not the case last year. So we're going to start this off. Quarterback, obviously, Big Ben Roethlisberger. He's having a preseason fabulous. Excellent. This is what you want from your starting quarterback with minimal snaps, minimal repetitions. This is the guy who's going to lead the Steelers to the Super Bowl.
And guys, I want you to keep focused now. Ben is in a contract year where he's You know, we want to get him signed. So the thing about it is, Ben is going to want to show his wares this year. So
You know
Ben
what?
is going to really put it out.
We didn't discuss this, in pre-show warm-up, but I'm glad you brought that point up. And what's interesting about this is that Ben Roethlisberger knows he's due for a big contract. Ben Roethlisberger knows they owe him the money
Right.
for what he's going to produce. But here's the deal. Have you heard anything about it? No, folks, you haven't. Ben has agreed not to discuss any contract talks until 2015 when the season's over. That's what a true quarterback does. No distraction. Hey, show me the money.
Exactly.
Ben is on a mission for number 7, and he is focused more than, I believe, any year that he's played with the Pittsburgh Steelers than this season. And I really predict Ben's going to get it done because he's going to be so focused on the game and not the money.
Exactly. Well, of course, now we have for our starters, penciled in right now for the Steelers, Bell and Blunt. That can be changed at any time, just to let you guys know. But right now, we see starting Bell and Blunt.
Yeah, and don't forget about Dre Archer coming in on third down.
Exactly.
Hopefully we won't need too much of his abilities, but this is the guy, this is my sleeper pick right here, Dre Archer. He's going to be the offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Antonio Brown, obviously. Heath Miller, get the play done. But when it's third down and 7, third down and 8, we need that first down. This is the go-to guy, Dre Archer.
Yeah, yes he is. We got wide receivers starting. Antonio Brown, of course. Marcus Wheaton stepping in. Lance Moore, huge as a third receiver in those sets. This is going to be a nice little arsenal of receivers. And we have Bryant coming in, as a
right.
taller receiver, especially down near the goal line.
And don't forget Hayward Bay. And also, getting back to Ben Roethlisberger, Ben's going to have more control of the offense this year, Big Tiz. And he's going to be calling mostly all the plays from the huddle. The hurry-up offense, don't be surprised if you see Pittsburgh throwing the ball to set up the run this year.
Exactly. Well, let's start with our offensive line. We have Beecham, left guard, Foster, I'm sorry.
Foster.
I can't even read my own writing.
Ramon Foster.
We have Pouncey starting at center, of course. DeCastro,
My
right
man,
guard.
66, David DeCastro, healthy.
And right tackle, Gilbert.
There you go. I
So-
mean, when's the last time, seriously, Big Tiz, when was the last time on paper and on the TV or in a Steeler game that these guys that we just mentioned, offensive line, the running backs, quarterback, all work together and play the game together?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. A long while.
And like we went over the stats, not the best stats in the world, but they are what they are. You have to, before you can run, you have to learn to walk. Say you get a injury, ACL tear or whatever, and you're out you're going to have to rehabilitate. And this is pretty much what the signs of rehabilitation are. They're weak, but getting stronger.
Right.
And by the time the season starts, I'm telling you, with that kind of offensive line, you can't go wrong with it.
Exactly.
Now let's get to the defense there, Big Tiz.
All right. Number 1 coming out of the box, we have Cam Thomas. This guy should do some damage out there. I mean, a younger guy, and this guy's got some speed to him. So Pittsburgh's pass rush should start to pick up this year.
Yeah, and no tackles. Just drop my mic.
See, that's what I said. That's why we're a real show. We do things, and like I said,
Testing,
we do
1,
it
2,
for
3.
the fans.
All right. I'm sure you could edit that out, maybe. No?
That's one
Okay.
way to get him to shut up, isn't it?
Hey, I can hear that. I'm right here. But getting back to Steve McClendon, nose tackle, healthy this year, big guy, fill the hole, can get to the quarterback. Wasn't too impressed with him last year, a year before, but I really have high hopes for him this year.
Exactly. Cameron Hayward.
Now that was my guy last year. I almost bought his jersey. This kid was all over the field. He was terrorizing people. Some plays a little bit, too much aggressive, but this guy he was on the ball almost every tackle, and that's why we feel that he's going to be named the starter.
And I like that about him, though. He has to get that old Steeler mystique back on defense. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Let's not forget the linebacking core, Big Tiz.
Oh, yeah. Warlidge, Shazier, Timmons, and Jones. This should be a good young core of linebackers.
Yo, fast, young.
And physical.
Did I say fast?
Yeah, you did.
Did I say young? You threw in the physical part. But when you're young, you're fast, you're physical, you're not thinking football.
Exactly.
You're just trying to, make the team, make the cut. And when you do that, you make mistakes. Well, hopefully it's not the case this year.
And guys, for defensive backs, we have Taylor, Cortez Allen, Mitchell, and Polamalu rounding out the secondary.
Mike Mitchell, a great addition to this Pittsburgh Steelers secondary. And, very, very aggressive, this guy. I'm a little worried about him. He has temper issues. I didn't want to get into it, but how do you get a taunting penalty in preseason? I don't know. Mike got one against the Bills. I was there. Don't know what happened. But in Polamalu, the thing about Polamalu, named defensive captain, first time in his career we'll be wearing the C.
Wow.
What a sign of respect for this guy.
Yeah, Polamalu, I mean, he's a type of guy that comes along once in a lifetime. This guy's phenomenal. His football knowledge is well respected. This guy is an all-around player.
Not only is he an all-around player, he's a family man. He's a great mentor for these young cornerbacks and safeties, especially, let's not forget, the safety out of Syracuse, Shamarko Thomas.
Exactly.
Can you imagine being this kid under the wing of Troy Polamalu? When Troy leaves the Steelers, you take his spot. Can you imagine being that guy, the pressure? And, I mean, Shamarko Thomas, great. I see him taking the reins and going with this. It's just unbelievable. This is almost like, now if any Yankee fans out there might be, Derek Jeter's last season. Mm-hmm. He's been a shortstop with the Yankees forever. Okay? One of the greatest Yankees of all time.
Right.
Leaving. He's retiring. I'm not saying Troy's retiring this year, but he's leaving the Yankees. It's almost that mystique. Trying to replace that one person, that one motivator for the team, the one guy, the captain you look up to. Fill in those shoes. Shamarko Thomas, I believe, is the guy that can do that.
Hey, this guy, like I said, if anybody can do it, these guys are the leaders that train these young guys, and Polamalu is a formidable leader. So I can see great things coming from Shamarko Thomas.
Absolutely.
One thing that we also want to discuss, now that we discussed our starting lineups on offense and defense, is that the Steelers will be breaking back out their Bumblebee jerseys.
Oh, yes.
Whether you like them or not, they're coming back out, and they'll be more or less probably on a home game. So, and wear your Bumblebee and wear proud.
I'm going to wear my DeCastro jersey for a show. I might have to lose the suit and tie for that one. I think we should do it. I'm calling arms there, Big Tiz. I think you should wear yours as well and show our support. We can look good in those jerseys. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but guys, there you have it. Our first show of the 2014 books in the books.
In the books.
And you know what? We're happy to be here for another season, and we do it because you fans asked us to, and we come back and we want to make you fans happy as well as us, because we love doing Steeler Nation.
We love giving out what we have to you folks, and we love the support that you have, Facebook, Twitter, whatnot. You can follow us. Go to our website, www.nationlive.net. Go to YouTube. Find us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. We're out there, and we appreciate any feedback you got. Oh, Big Tiz, we didn't talk about selfie. Here's what we want you folks to do. If you're out there, listen to me now. Remember next Tuesday. Check this out. We want your selfies, obviously in Steeler gear. We put your picture on the show, on the website. You can win a prize. So, Tiz, tell them where to send the selfie to.
Actually, you can send the selfies to Big Tiz at SteelerNationLive.net, or you can send it at Big O SteelerNationLive.net.
Send us your selfies. And like I said, look for yourself on the show. When you watch us, see us, you can win a prize.
Exactly.
And we hope to see you next Wednesday, regularly scheduled day, Wednesdays. Today is a special day on Thursday because of the holiday. So see you next Wednesday as we go over the Browns and the Steelers game and how good we did, and hopefully some good reporting from our new reporter, Joe Laurie.
Joe Laurie, yep, phenomenal young guy. You'll be seeing a lot of him on this season on Steeler Nation Live. So there you have it from Big Tiz.
And Big O from Rochester, New York, Steeler Nation Live.
See ya.
See ya.